Hello everybody and welcome back to Jade Empire, where Master Lee just fended off an attack by an assassin, and we are now talking to Dawnstar about it, in true BioWare game fashion. Where did you live before you came to the school?
Would it be strange of me to say I don't know? I have very little memory of my home before coming here, even though I was 3 years old when I arrived. I remember moving around a lot, never staying anywhere for long, and for some reason, the robes of that sorcerer looked familiar to me. I don't know why. I'm sure it's nothing, just the memories of childhood playing tricks. With glimpses of the spirit realm invading my thoughts, I could have seen them anywhere.
Why did you move around? How did you come here?
I can't remember specific incidents, but I am used to being shunned. People are not very welcoming of those who appear to not let the dead lay peacefully. Master Lee said I was brought to him by a concerned ally who received me from yet another person. That person wanted me safe, but he said he couldn't ensure it himself. Master Lee doesn't know who that guardian was, or what I needed protection from. He promised to look into it, but he's not had time. Your training has taken precedence. My abilities are just a curiosity. You are the center of attention here. I prefer it this way. I can just be.
Fair enough. But it is troubling to not know your past.
Yes, I suppose you know something about that as well. I hope this does not sound odd, but I am glad we share that. Thanks for this talk. The events on the beach worried me, but you always improve my mood. Let's get back to what you need to do.
Who are the people of interest in the village?
Well, we've already visited Gu Jin, who used to be a guard in the west, they say. Old Ming always has a story, and he's usually by the statue on the beach. Merchant Fen Do is in the village square. He's been expecting new goods any day now, for weeks. Oh, for training or learning the philosophy behind martial combat, go see Smiling Mountain. He is behind the ring, near the student quarters. He's always amusing.
How did you help Master Lee find out about the Restless Dead?
I don't want to think about it too much. Manipulating Qi has not come as naturally to me as it has to you. The things I do are different. I can see spirit shapes and hear the odd whisper. Master Lee was surprised, but he has not had time to look into it further. Your training is his primary interest. Hopefully I'll find my skills useful for more than just keeping me up at night. Could we go on to something else?
Let's see, we already did this one. Did we do this one? I can't remember. What do you know about the spirit world?
We are all spiritual creatures. When we die, our spirits are released to find their way to the underworld. The journey eases the transition from life to death. If their time among the living was troubled or painful, spirits sometimes get lost. They can seem almost alive and are often mistaken for living creatures. They usually only appear for a short time. They say what they need to say and then are drawn to the underworld.
What makes them so threatening?
If a person's life was very traumatic, his or her spirit can lose its way for a long time. They can go mad trapped in the world of the living. Maddened spirits change. They lose their connection to the living world and begin to channel darker emotions. They can be very dangerous. I've only seen hints of those. It's been enough. I'm very worried about what may be coming.
What happens to them in the underworld?
I don't know. That's the kind of thing old men sit on mountains to discover. Some say it is a place of judgment. Maybe it's about reincarnation. You'd think we could just ask the spirits themselves, but if we can't really understand our own answers, how can we hope to fathom theirs?
That's all for now.
Then we should return to Master Lee so he can talk to you about this attack.
Indeed we should. But first... There's a bunch of things. Well, we can gather these orbs even though we're at full health. There's this jerk, who wants to tell us all sorts of stories. There's a few jerks over there. Yeah, okay, well. We may as well make a save, just in case. Who knows?
我那个别上要啊，
Cursed bandits. Let their spirits lay troubled for all they have done. Some good people fell here, but thanks to you, not as many as might have. And my statue. It's a good thing they didn't touch it. Disgracing such a tribute would be like disgracing the Emperor himself. A fitting tribute to our leader, Emperor Sun, though no one else seems interested in venerating his rule. I don't have the back for cleaning it properly anymore. I guess that's why they call me Old Ming. Might I ask some questions? Not many people seem interested in what Old Ming has to say, even if I've been here longer than anyone. What do you want, anyway? And make it snappy. At my age, I could die at the drop of a blossom. What are your thoughts on Two Rivers? A few scruffy bandits and their mysterious leader show up, and suddenly everyone's pestering me about the village, like it's important. Who are the important citizens? That would depend on who you ask. I suspect everyone would cast a single vote for themselves. Give me your opinion. Master Li is the real leader here. Everyone looks up to him, and his word passes for law around these parts. His wisdom is unquestionable. He teaches a lot at the school, but Gujin the Weapon Master helps out a lot around town, making him probably the most well-liked man around. Then there's Merchant Fendo. Someday, I'd appreciate it if he'd quit complaining that he hasn't struck it rich yet. At least he hasn't struck it elderly, I say. What do you know about Master Li? A wise and skilled man. He's kept the peace in this village for 20 years, like it was set in stone. How did Master Li come here? I don't know. He's never talked about what transpired to bring him here, or why he arrived with you under his arm. I remember he seemed quite harried at the time, but he settled in quite quickly. He could see the potential of this place, I think. Who was Master before Master Li? It was so long ago. What was his name? Kansai Sanggan? I think that was it. He was more concerned with trade than anything else. Master Li set the village on a different path. Shortly after he arrived, Sanggan left. I'm not sure what became of him. Let's go back to my other questions. If you wish. But I've only got so many years left. Give me a jostle if I nod off. Tell me about the Emperor. Oh, I don't dare speak of Emperor Sun. My words can't do proper justice to his glory. He's a hero to many. Ending the drought earned him great respect, even if he no longer shows his influence this far from the walls of the Imperial City. Is the Emperor neglecting the borderlands? I would never suggest such a thing. He must simply have greater concerns elsewhere. Master Li has commented that he much prefers that Two Rivers does not get any attention. It is a sign that all is well here. Can we talk a bit about the past? Good on you! History is best taught through stories. A teacher lecturing about the past is like listening to paper crumble when you want to hear a waterfall. Everything's lost in the translation. What do you know about the spirit world? Perhaps you think I have an affinity for spirits since I'm close to becoming one myself? I'm not that old yet. I keep my feet toward the earth and my head as straight in the opposite direction as I can manage. I wish others were as practical. I've heard many ghost stories lately. Travelers talk of roads awash in spirits. I'm quicker to blame that on bowls of wine than a glut of the dead. Tell me about the long drought. You're too young to know what it was like. A decade of thirst with all the land cracked and bare. It was worst in the great cities. Riots claimed hundreds of thousands of lives. Emperor Sunhai put all his influence toward ending the drought and saved us all. But there was a cost. I don't know where the front line was, or the name of the enemy, but the Emperor's own brothers, Sun Qin and Sun Li, were lost. But what really happened? As I said, the Emperor corrected whatever great offense to the heavens that had afflicted the Empire, and thus ended the drought. That isn't enough answer for you, I know. For the young, it never is. In time, you'll understand that the Emperor must deal with things that you are not meant to know or comprehend. You accept that, but you're too practical for ghosts? I have faith in the order of things. The Emperor knows things that I'm not meant to. If the fisherman sends his catch to market, does the customer need to know how to fish? No. He just knows that someone else does. That is the order of things. It is real, and I know it works. Ghosts and shadows are tavern tales. How was the Empire formed? The Empire was formed out of warring countries by the iron will and inestimable... Wow, words. Estimable... Wow, I'm really failing that. By the iron will and inestimable might of sagacious Tien, the first emperor. In titanic battles and tense negotiations, he brought harmony to the chaotic world and created a single culture that stands tall over all others. Let's go back to my other questions. Can we talk? Actually, tell me about yourself. What would you have me speak about? How long have you lived in Two Rivers? All my life. More years than I can remember. Very little has changed. What do you do? I used to grow rice. Now I live on a small stipend sent by my son. He's long since moved further south in the Golden Delta. He never comes to visit. Typical. But the silver reminds me that he cares. If these bones get any more creaky, maybe I'll move down with him. I have to ask, why are you sweeping the beach? Obviously, I've turned this beach into a grand meditation garden where the contemplative mind can see the pathways of the future in the lay of the sand. Or maybe it's just something to keep me busy. At my age, you need a purpose, or you just fade away. Let's go back to my other questions. I think that's everything. Goodbye for now. I wish you well. Okay. Well, let's talk to this jerk, shall we? Well, we'll save the game first. Just in case. Who knows? Nijo, what do you got to say for yourself?
I'm so glad you and Master Lee arrived when you did. My father ran to the school gate to find students to help. Did he make it?
He is safe. There's no more reason to be concerned.
That is a great relief. We tried our best, but without you and Master Lee, we would have died. Thank you. Hopefully Master Lee can shed some light on what led to this. A sorcerer in our little village? What is wrong with the world?
Indeed. So we got a Way of the Open Palm thing there. That's interesting.
Oh, you. You're a friend of Dawnstar, right? I'm looking for her.
She's right there. Right there, Mrs. Chong. Like, she's standing directly in front of you.
Dawnstar, there you are. I know I haven't spoken to you in a while. I saw him again last night, and I remembered what you said. I wasn't as afraid.
I'm glad, Mrs. Zhang.
He seemed peaceful, if a bit lost. But I know it's not your fault now. I'm sorry for disturbing you and for what I said before.
Remember Zhang Jin, her son? He drowned last year after the mooring she tied let go. A sad accident. I saw his spirit and told her. She thought I was calling up ghosts. Some spirits return because of trauma, to rectify something that disturbed them in life or death. They are very focused. When the pain is gone, they find rest. At least they are supposed to. Jin's spirit told his mother the accident wasn't her fault. Now he wanders, unconnected to this world and unable to pass to the next. Troubled spirits can be set to rest for a time, but unless the greater problem is corrected, it seems all dead are destined to wander until they go mad. I'm sorry, this has been difficult. I don't want to think about how it affects specific people. I'm still not sure I should have told Mrs. Zhang about her child.
You were right to console her, even if she didn't want to hear it.
I don't know. People just want to be left alone with their grief. I guess blame is easier to understand than chance. Come on, we should go see if the students are all right.
Indeed we should.
Master Lee will be waiting.
Indeed he will. Okay, I just want to double check that there aren't any more loots that have spawned. There are! Look at this! These respawned. Nice! Well, let's go around and see if any of the other stuff has respawned then, shall we?
It's a good thing we have Master Li here.
Also, there's a bunch of people around here.
Don't forget his senior student. They say she's the one who fought many of those bandits.
Indeed. Okay, so let's see here. That one didn't respawn. That's a bit unfortunate. And I believe these are all good to go. Well, we might as well start jabbering.
Quite a bit of excitement. Yes, bandits can be tricky opponents.
Oh yeah, you helped so much.
Of course, that didn't stop Gao the Lesser from beating a few of them senseless. That boy enjoys causing pain.
I didn't see him beating any of them.
You won't tell anyone about what happened, will you? I couldn't leave my post, you know? I can't keep watch over the students if I'm dead.
Forget it. Your shame is your own to deal with.
Right. And I will, while I'm still alive. What do you need?
Is there anything of interest happening in the village?
Why do you need to ask? A bandit attack isn't of enough interest? What else would people talk about?
Can I ask you about the Empire?
Perhaps one of the villagers can accommodate you? I would rather focus on my job.
That you don't do.
Two Rivers may be remote and calm, but I still take the task of protecting it seriously.
Evidently not.
Farewell.
What a jerk. Okay. Weapon Master Gujin. Let's talk to him. I don't know why I'm suddenly messing up all my words. Maybe this is because this is the 12th episode that I have recorded today, and I usually record 7. Oh, hooray for holidays and work and jury duty and all sorts of things all at the same time.
Good job with those ruffians. Those bandits weren't gentle with this town. I'm going to help out with some of the repairs.
Good for you.
I'm just glad you two got a chance to try those weapons out for real. Looks like they handled themselves well, just like you two.
Okay, what are your thoughts on Two Rivers?
It's a sleepy little town, usually, and bandit attacks are virtually unheard of. Who wants to rob farmers? Rice isn't worth enough to carry it away. The only real visitor we have is that strange fellow who came in for supplies once or twice. He's just some mad hermit, though. He tries to avoid the village proper. The best thing about this place is Master Li's leadership. It's like the man was born to it.
Who is this strange hermit you mentioned? Because he definitely sounds like a party member.
I never caught his name, and he shies away from the village proper, so I think he prefers it that way. His visits are so rare, I'm not surprised you haven't heard of him. Merchant Fen Do won't even speak of the man. Just gives him a few basic supplies and lets him go. Oh well, no concern of ours. If a man wants to keep to himself, I say we let him do it.
Indeed. Until it becomes necessary to do something about it. How did you end up training at this school?
Oh, be fair. I may be the weapon master around here, but it's Master Li who really does the training. I help out, but he's the real reason you two are so good. I used to be a guard in Broken Path, a little town in the western part of the Empire. It was a sleepy place like this, though the residents were miners, not farmers. That whole province is called the Hills of the Six Holy Scrolls for a reason. It's rocky, as rich in minerals as it is in ancient temples.
What made you take up training?
After the body takes enough of a beating, it just doesn't fight as well as it once did. About 10 years ago, something just broke loose. Ghosts stormed out of the hills, dozens of them charging from the west. We tried to fight them, and it worked to some degree. But these ghosts were howling mad. Some of them didn't even look human anymore, like monsters they were.
Where did these ghosts come from?
They came from the hills in the west, but beyond that, no one knows. The scary part is that these days I hear more and more stories about ghosts haunting the roads. I wonder if we in Broken Path saw the beginning of whatever is happening now. It's hard to say, but there are an awful lot of rumors about ghosts these days.
Why would they attack your town?
I haven't the whisper of a clue. They simply attacked, all transparent and screaming rage in those hollow voices of theirs.
How could you defeat ghosts?
Ghosts can't die, but they can be... dispersed is the best word. They come back after a while, though. I guess there's no peace for the dead, except to go to the underworld, like most everyone does when they die.
What happened in the end?
We won, but many people joined the ghosts' ranks that day. People were spooked, claiming that the hills were haunted. Soon enough, Broken Path became an empty path. It was deserted. Still sore from the fighting, I made my way south to what I found to be more peaceful lands.
Could I exchange my weapon? I'm not going to, but could I?
Didn't quite match what you were looking for, did it? I'll admit, you don't look fully comfortable with it yet. Would you prefer the other weapon?
No. I'd rather not.
That's probably for the best. Always hard to get used to a new balance when you're just starting out.
Indeed. I should let you
You're
get back
right.
to work.
There's plenty to do.
Okay. So let's charge forth. Let's see. None of these people are people that we particularly need to talk to. I mean, we don't need to talk to a lot of people, but this is how I play BioWare games. Hello, Fendo.
Those bandits will think twice before threatening a town protected by the likes of Master Li. They were fools to even come here.
Indeed.
The only shame is that their ship sunk. Think what we could have done with their plunder. Well, that's another opportunity lost.
I mean...
In this town, it's vital for a businessman to keep tabs on anyone with 2 coins to rub together. Things haven't been this slow since the long drought. That master of yours keeps things ludicrously stable while merchants thrive on strife. During the long drought, prices rocketed into the sky like fireworks.
Okay, so, real quick, I want to address his point about the ship sinking. I was going to say, really, you haven't heard of swimming? But then I saw his eyebrows, and I was like, you know, if my eyebrows looked like that, I would be afraid of water too. You don't like Master Li's leadership?
I can't say that. He's a wise man who sees to the heart of things. If I were to complain about anything, it's how few students he attracts. A skilled master could bring a lot of people into this town, but he is very selective about who comes. That's his business, I'm sure, but it affects my business as well.
Indeed. Let's talk about what you can do for me.
Happily. We don't need to waste time on my gripes when there's silver to be spent.
Indeed not. What do you have for sale?
I have nothing at the moment.
Nothing.
I can't keep my stock up. People are scared to travel, which prevents goods from getting here. I must apologize.
So you're useless then. How can you call yourself a merchant if you have nothing to sell?
I do what I can, but the ghosts and bandits limit travel. They viciously force many caravans to turn back. To hear some of the caravan masters talk, there are problems of this type all over the Empire. I will be sure to let you know as soon as anything comes to town.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back to our other questions. I want to ask about the village.
You'd think the recent attack would have people buying supplies or weapons or something. But alas, business has not improved.
Who's important around here?
Who could be more important than Master Li? He is the anchor of this town, and none question his wisdom. Two Rivers has always accepted the masters of your school as leaders, but none have taken to it with the skill, authority, or wisdom of your master.
How are the students viewed?
No different from anyone else. If you keep to yourself, no one bothers you.
Are there exceptions?
Well, you are always asking questions. That can be tiring.
Indeed, I hear it even sends assassins
Although I
after
do
you.
prefer that over Gao's posturing, he is not well liked. But his father has money, so he gets his way.
Yeah, Gao's a jerk. Let's go back to our
If
other
you
questions.
wish, what do you want to know?
I want to ask a few things about the Jade Empire.
I've never set my eyes beyond the horizon you can see from here. There must be someone else you could ask.
Okay, fair enough. What do you know about the spirit world?
I send my thanks to the spirit for successful journeys just like everyone else. I don't have any special insight.
Fair enough.
Why not ask your friend there? Dawn Star knows more about the spirit realm than anyone, it seems. She's been a great help from time to time.
I do what I can to help, good merchant. That's all any of us can do.
Tell me about the long drought.
I grew up during the worst of it, but I don't remember much. Just the joy when the Emperor put an end to it. Two Rivers was almost deserted by that time, but Master Li arrived soon after, and we've had peace ever since.
How was the drought stopped?
I don't know. That's why the Emperor is the Emperor, and I'm content to be here. I don't need to worry about it.
Let's go back to my other questions.
If you wish. What do you want to know?
Tell me about yourself.
Well, there isn't much to tell. I'm just a simple merchant trying to ply his trade in a town that resists spending money.
Well, you don't have any goods.
One day the gods will recognize my suffering and elevate me to their ranks.
I doubt it. I want to buy stuff, but you don't sell stuff, and now you're complaining that no one wants to give you any money, but it's because you don't sell things.
Do come back when the weight of your silver is...
It is
slowing
right
you
now.
down. Always happy to help.
I want to buy things from you, but you don't have anything to sell. This guy. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode we will finish exploring Two Rivers and head back up to talk to Master Li. See you all then.